How would you, if elected president, any of you, stabilize the Naira? That's the first question. So I don't know who likes to start.
One, let's know the difference between stabilizing the Naira, that is, keeping it stable, and parity. It doesn't mean 1 Naira to $1. It means that whether it is 1,000 or it is 100 Naira, it stays like that between January 2001 to 2004, whatever is the medium-term framework, so that people can plan. It is the fluctuation that creates arbitrage. Second thing, don't have a dual system where one person who has a friend in central bank can make $30 million by buying at official rate and selling to the hardworking people at the
Okay, thank you.
The third issue is to stop the stealing, because the income of the country is underreported. So the money you are supposed to have in your foreign reserve, which is the monetary side, or in the fiscal side, the income you are supposed to be receiving, makes you to go and borrow money. And lastly, people who are importers of goods and owners of supermarkets should not be making more money than manufacturers and farmers. So you must put more money in local production, not importation. Thank you.
The only way you can stabilize the Naira is to move the country from consumption to production. Nigeria as a country, please, Nigeria as a country, in 2021, our total export, a country of 200 million people with a land size of 923,000 square, our total export, using the rate of exchange today, is about $30 billion for 200 million people, including oil. Compared to the country like Vietnam, 100 million people, half of our population, living in 331 square kilometers of land. A third of our land, their total export last year, without oil, 312 billion. So a country of 100 million people, 10% of their export. You need to manufacture and export and earn dollars to stabilize the Naira.
Thank you. Point made.
Well, to stabilize the Naira, our economy is suffering from self-inflicted economic malaise and externally induced shocks. Ours is a monoproduct economy, and one potent tool of stabilizing the Naira, of growing the economy, is by diversification of our sources of foreign exchange earnings. The highest budget we have ever reached was $32 billion. That was under former President Jonathan in 2013. Let us compare equals. We have a population of 200 million. Brazil has an equal population of 200 million. The Brazilian budget is $659 billion with a budget performance of 90%. Wow. The fundamental issue at stake, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, is that ours is a great nation in chains. Chained by ineptitude, chained by corruption, and chained by incapacity.
Thank you.
Abolish the multiple exchange rates that is being done now. Two, you allow the convergence of both official and unofficial rates that will give you a stable Naira. Basically, this is the only way you can ensure the stability of the Naira. Of course, some economists have argued about, increase in production and so on and so forth. It is only when you have a stable exchange rate that people like me who have factories will be able to access the foreign exchange to produce and therefore retain the labor force. I think this is the simple, straightforward way to ensure the stability of the Naira. Thank you.
A lot of resources from reapplying fallow assets of the federal government, which are allowed to waste, and they could bring up money that we need quickly. Because if you want to answer that question with the urgency that it requires, you require funding that you can get immediately. And it points out that there are a lot of choice property lying all over the country which are not used at all, not to talk about being utilized, and that government could put them together and bond them and get resources from them. Of course, the question has been raised, and that is a bold one coming from the former vice president, because you begin to wonder where all the malams who sell dollars in the street get them from.
We need to look at what is putting the pressure on the Naira. Why the excessive demand for the dollar? If you look at countries like India, because they speak English, they export English-based services. Most of the telecenter services in the world run out of India. The Indians can't speak better English than Nigerians. For those services, they get paid in dollars. Nigeria can feed Africa and most of the world. We see farming as subsistence farming. Farmers all over the world are some of the richest people. Some people still look at farmers and talk subsistence farming, while the rest of the world is talking of agripreneurship. Agriculture is business. Bifocal or multifocal economy means leaving what we know in the failed oil and gas sector to ensure that we focus on the service sectors. Take the film industry, for example. Doing so well, the world knows us because of our film industry. What are we doing to ensure that we are exporting that we're earning scarce foreign exchange with that film industry? How many film villages do you have in Nigeria? Service-based industries can and should be encouraged. Take the legal profession, for example. I know lawyers in America set up firms and they're selling their services through the internet to Nigerians. Architects can do the same thing. Financial services, there's nothing you cannot do with the internet that brings the world together. But guess what? The internet in Nigeria is about the most expensive in the world. We can make Nigeria great. We need to retune our minds and do the right things, and it starts with capability.
Thank you.
Thank you.